Hello everybody and welcome to my craft room. This is Denise Cox from Bird's Nest Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Trail, British Columbia, Canada, and today I am here to share this really cute card with you that I created for my Stamp of the Month Club for December. And the stamp we're featuring for this month is Warm Welcome. This can be found online right now, or starting January 5th, it'll be in the mini catalog as well. So it comes with some coordinating Warm Welcome dies if you choose to buy the bundle. So if you're interested in knowing more about my Stamp of the Month Club, you can find all of the information on my blog at createwithbirdsnest.ca. Everything is there to register, all the information so you can read and find out about it is all there. So if you are interested in the club, head on over there. If you like today's video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave me a comment, thumbs up. I love hearing from all of you. So to start with, we are going to create this fun card. So as a member of my Stamp of the Month Club, you do get 3 card make and takes, and they come packaged like this, so are in an envelope all the pieces you need for each card. Some of the die cuts will already be done for you if they're not a stamp and die cut kind of thing. So we've got one little heart, which is from the Warm Welcome die, and that's cut with polished pink cardstock. So then we've got a card base which is basic gray, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored in half at 4 1/4. So it's just a standard card base. We'll go ahead and we will fold that and burnish it here with our bone folder. Then there's a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 pool party, which is going to get layered right on top of here. I'm going to go ahead and attach that with my Stampin' Seal. Now you can use whatever adhesive you like. My preferences are Stampin' Seal and the multi-purpose liquid glue. I kind of tend to go for whichever one is closest to my hand at the moment. There's no real rhyme or reason. All right, so then we have another piece here that's 3 3/4 by 5, and this one is Smoky Slate. There's a small piece here of basic gray, which is just going to be used to stamp the door image on. For the inside of the card, I have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white, and then I've just got a small scrap here. Usually a hole is punched in the scrap piece so you know which one you're going to stamp on. And then we've got a cutout here, which is also from the Warm Welcome, and that is what creates this door inside the door here. Okay, so that is going to be pre-cut in your kit if you're a member of the club. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to do all my stamping that needs to be die cut. So I'm going to bring the die cut machine in once, do all the stuff, and then put it out of the way. So we'll get started with that. So to do that, I'm going to need, put those two, I'm going to need these 3 pieces. I'll put the heart over here too so I don't misplace it. All right, so the first image we're going to stamp is this one here. This is the hands holding the coffee mugs, and we need a tuxedo black ink pad for that. So just the memento. Memento is what you want to use if you're going to color, as I am, with stamping blends. So I'm just going to get that nice and inked up. Pop that on there. So that's good. We have a coordinating die for that, which we'll grab in a sec. And then we're going to use basic gray. We're going to use basic gray to stamp the door. And I'm going to stamp that directly onto my basic gray piece here. And because this is a larger image, I'm going to ink it up like this. Make sure it's got nice and inked up, and then I'm going to stamp it on here. Perfect. Okay, so that's good. So we're going to die cut both of these. And then we're going to emboss this one here. So we're going to emboss, and this is a technique that I want to share with you today. This is the Bricks and Mortar 3D embossing folder. It can be found in the annual catalog or on my online store. And it's a nice 6x6 3D, which is a deeper impression embossing folder. I'm going to apologize right now for the noise that you may be hearing. I have two puppies who are not cooperating while I do this video. So they're just playing with their toys and running around in here as I create. So what we're going to do is we're going to ink up this folder, and we want to put it on the raised side. So we're going to put it on the side here that has the Stampin' Up! Logo on the back. We're going to put the ink here. So we are just going to ink this up. Oh, I'm actually just like this. Okay, it does not have to be perfect. It adds to the technique if it's not. So we're just going to get that nice and inky. And then we're going to put in the paper, and you'll see that black line on the back here. If you line your paper up, that's a guide so that your image that you emboss is going to be nice and straight. So we're just going to close that up. I'll set these two aside for a minute, and we'll pull the embossing machine in to the camera view here. Hopefully you guys can see this. So I'm going to start with my number 1 base plate. Then I'm going to put down one number 3 clear plate. Putting my embossing folder with the hinged end here. So the hinge is going to go into the machine first. And then we're going to put the number 4 embossing plate. Okay, so that's our sandwich for creating with a 3D embossing folder. Oh. And then we're just going to give it a little push through. Why does this not? No, you know what? I lied. We don't need the number 3. I had that out because we're going to do our die cutting. Sorry, so it's just number 1, the embossing folder, and number 4. My mistake. Okay, so we're just wheel this through. And now when we pop this out, we are going to have a really funky looking embossed piece. Okay, so this is what I meant when I said it didn't have to be perfect. Some of my spots had ink in them, some just had it on the lines, but then you come out with this really cool looking brick wall. So if you're in my club and you don't have the bricks, you can use whatever embossing folder you do have and you'll get a similar look just with that design. Okay, so that's that piece. And then we did have those die cuts we were going to cut out. So for that sandwich, we need the number 1, number 2, number 3 cutting plate. Then we need our papers, which are right here. So we've got the door and the hands. And we're going to open up our Warm Welcome dies. I love that they're naming the dies and the stamps the same. So much less confusion. So here's the dies. I have mine stored on a lovely magnetic sheet so that they all stick together and they're easy to see. So we're going to need those hands, and we're going to need this door here. So we'll just go ahead and we'll line that up like so. And then we'll line up the door. Oops, door got upside down here. We'll line up that door like that. Okay, and these dies hug those lines nice and tight so you know that it's lined up. And then we're going to come in with the other number 3 clear plate. We're going to lay that down gently so it doesn't move our dies. And then we can wheel it through. On here. All right, so now we're done with our die cutting machine. I'll put that off to the side, and when I pull these off, we're going to have our die cut pieces that we need. Now if you don't have the coordinating dies, of course you'll just fussy cut these images. It's not absolutely necessary to have the dies, but it sure does make it convenient and handy to have them. Okay, so back to creating our card. So now that we have our bricks here, we're going to attach that to the front of the card. Now you can decide whether you want it this way because we have more color down here, or at the top. I'm going to opt to have it down near the bottom. So for that, we'll use multi-purpose glue. And the reason I'm using that as opposed to my seal is just because of all the indents from the embossing. Okay, and then we'll just attach that here, and making sure to have a nice even border all the way around if we can. Okay. So now we can go ahead and attach this cute door. I absolutely love this door image. It's just so fun. So we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to stick that on there. And we're going to use a fair amount because it is a fairly large image and we don't want it to have any saggy parts when it's on our card. So I'm just going ahead and taking off all these little backings here. Okay, I'm going to sit that quite centered to the card. All right, now we're going to do a little bit of blending with a blending brush. So I'm going to set this piece off to the side, this piece off to the side. And now on these two pieces, I'm going to use a blending brush that I have already ready to go. I shouldn't say ready to go, but I use one brush for grays, one brush for reds, one for yellow. So this is the one that I use for my grays. And you can see that I usually, when I'm done, I just kind of do this on the scrap paper to make sure none of the color or very little color is coming out before I put it away. So we're going to get some of this ink onto the pad here. Always in a circular motion is your best bet, and holding your handle down here as opposed to up here puts more even pressure on the head itself. Okay, so now that that's inked up, we can go here and test it. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to add some blending into the center. Remember, this is our door image, right? The inside of our door. So we're just going to add a little bit of blending like that. And then this is the inside of the card. And so what I'm going to do is just add a little bit here, because I like to design and decorate the inside of my card, show them a little extra love as well. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of color to tie it in with the front so it's not quite so stark white. So just in that corner. Okay, so we're done with that. We can put that off to the side. Now on here, my sentiment that I want on the front of my card is let's spend time together. Such a nice, heartfelt sentiment. Be great to send to a friend who's coming to town or you haven't seen in a while. So we're just going to stamp this here on the door. Okay. And then we're going to attach our heart. Remember, that was a die cut from the Warm Welcome and it's cut out of polished pink. And it will already be in your kit if you are a current member of my Stamp of the Month Club. So stick that on there. And then we can go ahead and attach this whole piece to the front of the card. And you'll see how much this just adds to that door image. So by filling this in, and we've now created the dimension to make this door look more realistic. Like it's opened and now you're seeing into this door. All right. Okay, I love it. So remember, if you're enjoying making this card with me today or watching this video, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you're thinking of this card. And yeah, just leave me a message. I love to hear from you. Okay, so now let's color. Let's color with our stamping blends. So I'm going to use, now this is such a tiny image, I'm really not going to do any shading because it's too tiny. It'll be pointless to try and blend it in. So I'm going to use my Starry Sky and I'm going to color this shirt over here. The stripes are going to be blue. My pool party, I'm going to color in the other strips here, or stripes, sorry, not strips, like so. And I'm actually going to color this teacup over here, pool party as well, just to kind of coordinate the colors. Okay, and while I have the Starry Sky out, oh, I don't like that end. I have a preference to this larger end. Color the tea bag blue as well to make it coordinate. And then this shirt over here, I'm going to make pink So these are polished pink. Again, we're going to tie it in with that heart that we attached. So that was the dark, and now I'm just going to come in with the same color, light polished pink, and just give it a kind of a two-tone striped look. Color this coffee mug here gray again to tie it in with our card design. This one is big enough. I could do a little bit of shading. So that was the dark. And then I'm just going to come in here with the light, like so. Okay. This is ivory. Color this hand here ivory. And then when you order the ivory Stampin' Blends, it also comes with a lovely bronze color. And we're going to color this hand over here bronze. Okay, so that's done. So now we can go ahead and attach that. We're going to use some mini Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm only going to put 2 in the center here. It's a small image. It's not going to go anywhere. So we're going to attach that across the heart like so. Isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, so now let's go to our inside of the card. So for the inside of the card that I've created, I have this cute little hand coming in with a bouquet saying miss you. So we're going to do that. We're going to recreate that on the inside of our card today. And this is the piece that was 4 by 5 1/4 that we did that little bit of blending on. So using my Memento, I'm just going to come in off the edge, making sure that hand comes off the edge, or the sleeve, sorry, so that it comes right in from the outside. And then Miss You can get stamped right below that, like so. And then we can go ahead and color this image as well. So I'm going to keep consistent with the front of the card and my favorite color. So I'm going to color this pink again. I love, love, love this polished pink. Okay, so that's the dark. And then I have the light. Okay. And we'll choose the bronze coloring for the hand again. I'm going to choose to do my bouquet wrapper in gray to tie it in with the front of the card and this blending that we've done. And I'll give that some shade with the light smoky slate. Okay, and then we'll take some Granny Apple Green. I'm actually going to use the light, just the light Granny Apple Green. Okay, that end of my marker is not great, so there we go. That one's better. Okay, and then I'm going to choose to do my flowers in Pool Party. So I'm just going to do the dark centers. See what I'm doing? I'm just going really quickly, creating a dark center over the dot that's already on the image. And then I'll come in with my light and just kind of fill that in. And it just gives a little tiny bit of shading in the center. It makes these flowers kind of pop. All right, there you go. So there's the inside of our card. So let's go ahead and attach that now. See where I had put the card. So here's the card. So we'll go ahead and we'll attach that to the inside. There. Now, one last thing that we need to do is just add a single rhinestone. Every card needs a little bit of bling. So I'm just going to take one of these larger ones here. Actually, no, I think a medium one. A medium would look good. We'll just put that one right there. Okay, and of course you could go ahead, you could add more, you could, change up the colors, do whatever. Like I said, if you don't have the embossing folder for the bricks, and you could switch it up, you could do florals, you could do whatever you want. The idea was just to show you this cool technique with the embossing folder and how using the bricks and mortar, it does kind of look like the exterior of a wall, and you would have a door. So again, that is the card I created, one of the cards for my Stamp of the Month Club. Every kit has 3 make and takes, the stamp set of the month. It comes with printed instructions for all 3 cards and 1 video for one of the cards that kind of shows you the ins and outs of the stamp set. So cutting the door, what this piece is for, different things like that. So it's helpful to watch that video first and then create the remainder of your cards. So again, if you're interested in the Stamp of the Month Club, I would love to have you join us. You can join from anywhere in Canada. It's just $5 to ship your monthly kit on top of the $40 fee. That includes, as I mentioned, the stamp set and the 3 make and take. So you can find all of that information at createwithbirdsnest.ca. I'll also put the link in the description of today's video directly to the Stamp of the Month information. So thanks again, everybody, for being here. I hope you enjoyed today's card. Subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and of course, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Cheers!